But coming out to start off, this is one of our beautiful wildlife ambassadors. She is kind of being a little bit more explorative right now, and also a little bit more attentive to some of our wildlife care specialists. Like, see her rubbing a little bit more than normal and just kind of looking around a little bit. But does anyone know what kind of an animal this is? And you can just shout it out. We're pretty
adorable.
I heard adorable. That is exactly right. I heard lynx. I heard caracal. If you said caracal, then you are correct. A lot of people do say lynx, so I totally understand why you might think that. They've got those ear tufts on them that are very characteristic of both.
Do you see somebody else coming?
Species. And so this, however, is a caracal. They are more of an African species, but their range can also go into some of the drier parts of Asia as well. But Annika here will shortly be joined by a fellow caracal, and actually her boyfriend. He is checking things out. He hasn't really been on this stage before, I believe, so he might just be taking his time, peering around, kind of making sure that he feels comfortable. But this handsome caracal over here on this side of the stage, this is Ficas, and he is joined here by Jessica, as well as we might see David pop out his head here a little bit later, and they are from our Wegaforth Bull team. There he is. So we are a couple of the ambassador teams here at the zoo. So in addition to caring for different species that we have on habitat, we are also here to help educate you all about some of the amazing species that we have here at the San Diego Zoo and that we help to protect out there all around the world. So as I mentioned, this species is found in Africa as well as into parts of Asia, and one of their nicknames is the desert lynx. So for those of you who guessed that these were lynx, totally acceptable guess. But they come from a little bit more drier desert-like areas. So they have that beautiful golden coat to help them blend into a lot of the grassy areas that these cats are going to be hanging out in. And they are both full-grown, so they're pretty much normal size for an adult caracal. But as a smaller species of caracal, you'll kind of notice Ficas here especially, he's kind of looking around right now, checking out his surroundings. So even though as cats they are hunters, they are also still the hunted. There are some larger species of predators, including other larger species of cats, that could potentially make a meal out of a caracal, or at least try to. So they're going to be keeping an eye out for their surroundings. So if you're watching our two cats right now, you'll notice those ears of theirs turning around a lot, kind of listening to the various sounds that are out there in the zoo. So caracals, they can kind of move their ears like satellites to pinpoint different sounds, because they have over 20 muscles in each of those ears to help them be able to move those ears independently to really be able to figure out where certain sounds are coming from, make sure they feel safe, but even potentially listen for a possible meal. So over there you can see Annika kind of high up over there. You might, if you didn't catch it, you might be wondering, wow, how'd she get up there? So these cats are extremely agile hunters, and what they are often going to use is the element of surprise to help them to hunt. So a lot of times these cats are going to be hiding out in tall grasses waiting to ambush their prey. And when they find something that seems tasty, they're going to use those large, powerful hind legs to jump up into the air and swat out prey. These cats can jump around up to 10 feet straight up into the air. I've heard a little bit more, but they are extremely strong and extremely powerful. And that jumping ability has allowed them to hunt different kinds of prey. They might go for some small mammals, but they are especially good at hunting birds. And so they're going to be using that camouflage to hide in those grasses. And in addition to those ears being good and helpful for them to listen to potential prey and maybe some birds that might be tweeting around and flying around and hanging out, so those tufts on their ears, scientists a lot of times, they think that those tufts are also going to help them to attract those birds that these caracals want to eat. And so if you kind of look at those tufts, you can imagine, especially if these cats are hiding out in the grasses, if those
He's
tufts
like,
are
I'm
moving
done.
around in those grasses
Choice
and
and control.
just those little hair tufts are sticking out, to a bird, that might look like a nice fuzzy caterpillar.
Give him a treat.
Delicious. And so that might attract a bird to swoop down a little bit closer, making it a much easier catch for that caracal to then jump up, swat at those birds, and have a much easier kill
like,
so that they
I don't want to
can
go
get
up there.
the food that they need. So pretty awesome tactic here. I'll move over here, Ficas. He doesn't know me, so he's probably like, you're a weird looking person. Please get out of my space. But that's how these caracals have some amazing adaptations and use them to really help them be able to
They're both out of
survive
view right now.
out there in their native habitats. And so, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, Annika and Ficas, they are I like to say boyfriend, girlfriend. They have been paired before. Currently they're a little bit separate, but we have paired them before. They are part of what we call our species survival program. And so, has anyone heard of the species survival program? We call it the SSP for short. Maybe, possibly. Well, I'm just going to tell you about it. So the SSP is basically a giant program that is run across zoos in North America. And its goal is to be able to track the genetics of the individuals that we have in zoos and be able to match our individuals so that if they are ready to make the next generation, we will have the most genetically diverse and healthy population that we can in the human field in and around zoos. And so Ficas and Annika are a match. So far they have not had any kittens, but we are hopeful that maybe in the future they will. A lot of times we see these cats sometimes getting along, but sometimes they also just seem like they just want to be really good.
They're behind
roommates.
there.
So send them lots of your love and lots of good thoughts, and maybe eventually we'll get some caracal kittens. Want to see, does anyone have any questions about our caracals in general? Nope, okay.
Right here, right here.
Oh.
Right here.
So you kind of saw a little bit of her speed and her strength there. I see a question over here. Hi, what's your question?
How much miles can they go a day?
How many miles can they go a day? So I don't know the exact number of miles in terms of where and how far they are going to go, but they can definitely have a decent sized territory. They're going to be needing to roam around to find their food. So I don't know, but I will try to get back to you about that. Or you can be a little scientist and find out yourself as well. That would be pretty cool. Go ahead.
What is that paste that you're feeding?
What is that paste? So we have some chicken baby food, and that is this delicious paste that we have. So Annika here, usually she gets a diet of different kinds of rodents like mice, some bull meat, some beef heart, but today she was not that interested. Kind of like some of us sometimes, there are certain days we just don't like particular foods, and so we got her something a little bit tastier, and she seems to be all about it. Any other questions about our caracals? Yep, all right. Well, I'm just going to keep talking then. Looks like Ficas, he's doing a great job too, everyone. This is his first time out here on the stage, which can be very scary to an individual. You can imagine when you go out into a new space for the first time, there's a whole bunch of other people staring at you, and usually people aren't this close to him when he's at the Wegeforth Bull Show, so he did a great job. Maybe we'll just give him some like silent claps because he did such a great job for his first time. Anika, she is on this stage all the time, so she is used to this area.
Did you hear what Keegan said? She wanted to jump over. She goes, "Ah, you shit."
You can also see, so caracals, they are a species
Very
that they
scary.
are going to generally be awake and active just whenever the food is around. So she is going to be exploring. There must be something very interesting about that particular structure as
There's
well.
Ficas'
that she
fan
is
club.
Very into.
Three of the four of them are at the Wigglesworth Bowl.
Okay, so it looks like Ficus is heading home, but Annika will probably stay out a little bit longer for us. Yeah, go ahead. Say that one more time. So currently these two cats, even though they are a pair and a match, they are not currently together. So we are actually doing some research with them where we are actually trying to track her cycles and when she would be the most fertile. So we have a great research team up at the Beckman Center, which is at our sister location at the Safari Park.
No
so
doubt.
we will send them fecal samples and they'll test hormones. And so we try to pair them based on that to be able to time it to where she is the most receptive. So currently they are separated, but they are living in two habitats next to each other so that they are still experiencing that whole concept of, oh, look, there's a male coming into your territory, and kind of starting to give her those different stimuli to help get her ready. So they will be paired eventually, but it's currently just not that time. So it looks like Annika is heading back home, but I will stay on the mic or off the mic to answer any other questions. We appreciate
San Diego
you all
Zoo,
bearing
Basecamp.
the San Diego heat.